Do you want to know about the kind of skill sets which will help you in carving out a successful career in the field of advertising? Titus, the National Creative Director at Denso India, joins us with top 5 skill sets which will help you carve out a successful career for yourself in the advertising industry.
So imagination is right on top. The skill set that you need every day also would be writing if you want to be a copywriter. Art direction skills, definitely the third. The fourth is basically, I think, which most jobs, I think, it's a requirement, but more so in this business, is passion. Last but not the least, I think patience.
Imagination right on top of that list of skill sets, and perhaps rightly so for someone who wants to work in an advertising agency. Now, another team which plays a very important and crucial role in the scheme of things is account management team. And to discuss the role played by account management team, I'm joined by Mr. Harjot Singh. Mr. Singh, if I were to ask you, where exactly does the account management team come into the picture?
Account management, as the word suggests, it's about managing the account from end to end. So the business you're working in is your account, and you're the string that has to string all the pearls that come in to create the beautiful necklace that the client actually wants. Account management comes in first understanding what the client wants. They need to be very, very clear, and at times you need to peel into the client's understanding also to be sure that what you need to do is completely crystal. And then you take it down into the agency, and you need to be completely well versed with everything that an agency can do, all the functions of an agency. And then that's the only way you can then garner all the resources together and shepherd them in the right area, make them look for solutions in the right area so that you get the best possible result with the least possible effort. And of course, any challenges that come up on the way, that's your job.
Because the account management team is the link between client and the other teams inside the agency. So the balancing act, tell me a little bit about it.
So at the end of the day, you've got to find how to deliver. There will always be a setup that says this is the right way to do things, and then we are a creative setup and we want to find new ways of doing things. How do you break, and what is the right way? How much to push, where to go? So it's a judgment business, and that is where that judgment is the balance that you bring onto the account.
Yeah, it becomes very difficult sometimes because the creative team might be very convinced that the campaign that we have developed for a particular product is the best one. But when you go to the client says, well, we're not entirely happy with what you have here. Go back, make these changes, etc. So how do you sort of, again, go back to the...
One of the simplest thing that you do is you nurture problem solving skills.
Right.
If you are a problem solver, you will understand the problem that the client is trying to solve. And then the creative can be as out of whack as required. Your only judgment is, will it solve the problem or not? Once you have that bedrock to hold your decisions and your judgment in, you will normally find that balance easy.
Right.
So having an attitude for problem solving is, I think, the biggest thing that account management needs to have.
Right.
And that's how they take it forward. So it's a skill. It's not a science. It's an art as much as any other.
Right.
And managing people, managing opinions, managing decisions, and taking gut calls at times of where you should be, working with your partners.
Right.
It's all part of account management.
And since you were talking about skill and skill sets, which brings me down to the next question, and that is, what kind of skills, in your opinion, somebody who wants to work in the account management team of an advertising agency should have?
Problem solving is probably the biggest skill that you need to have. And I think at the end of the day, this is a business with no machinery. There's nothing but people. People and their minds is what we work with. A little bit of computers, but that's about it. So you need to be able to work with people. If you cannot harness opinions and create something larger and help push it in a direction that will create something larger from it, I think that's the skill that's way more important to be a good account management person. So people and problem solving, passion for problem solving and passion for working with people, and of course enjoy communication, because I don't think the core of the business is great communication.
Right.
So if you're interesting and you create interesting communication yourself, you will always have a passion for interesting and you will stay away from the mundane. That's always a good thing to have.
So somebody who is good with people, somebody who can solve problems, a couple of skill sets which somebody working in the account management team should have. Within the industry, often called the voice of the consumer and the brand, members of the planning team To discuss the role of the planning team in an advertising agency, I'm now joined by Mr. Narayan Devanathan. Mr. Devanathan, do tell us where exactly does the planning team come in and what is the role played by the planning team?
I don't think there is a specific, precise answer to that.
Right.
And that's also because of the
very nature of the word planning?
No, because I think we are most often the joker in the pack, and we're able to fit ourselves wherever the need is.
Right.
That seems convenient to say that we are flexible.
Yes.
That's a better word, right? Agile and flexible. That's what we are. But I think the point is that advertising is not a linear process. The creative process is not a linear process all the time.
Right.
And because of that, the role of the planner, which is to provide the insight and the understanding of the person who you want to engage with, and
And you're talking about the consumers in this case.
I am. Yeah.
Yes.
But I always believe the consumer is only a tiny part of the person that we want to engage with, and more often than not, you're no longer talking about the consumer of a product or a brand as a physical entity,
Right.
but the relationship between the brand and the person. Right? It's almost like how you and I are interacting.
Yes.
For years now, we've been talking about brands having personalities and tone of voice and
and certain qualities which each brand wants to represent and emulate. Right.
And if you're going to be like that, you're almost thinking of the brand as a person.
Yes.
Then you need to be interacting with the brand as a person, not just be transactional. And I think in bringing that understanding to the table, it could come at the very beginning of the creative process, which is right after we get a brief from the client to say, this is our marketing challenge or our business challenge or our communications challenge. And therefore we embark on understanding this person.
So what kind of a person do you think will fit well in the planning team inside an advertising agency?
So I never look for skills to begin with, because there's no degree in planning. Maybe there is. I think Micah offers a degree in planning, maybe. But I'm not particular about that. I look for slightly different qualities. Passion and love are number one and two, usually in that order. Actually, those are true for entering into this profession, because I always say that we're a bunch of ego-driven people in this profession, and we're very precious about our ideas. And if you don't come in with passion and love, we will chew you and throw you by the wayside, and we won't care about you.
Right.
But if you come in with that passion, and we see that you're like us, and then we'll all work together.
You should not only have a great idea, you should only believe in that idea as well, and should be able to communicate that belief, that why you believe in that product and that campaign so much.
Yeah, the other reason you need passion and love is we don't pay very well, so so that's also there. But there are 4 other qualities that I believe are essential in a planner.
Right.
Again, not in any particular order. One is tolerance.
Right.
For points of view other than yours, which don't always agree with you. Because if you're not able to see multiple points of view, then you're not going to be able to step into that consumer's shoe. Yeah, so that's one. The second is an openness to actually learn with a burning curiosity, especially about things that don't really matter to you.
Right.
You have to be interested in all kinds of things, because you never know what will be handy and what dots you will connect. Like, that's number 2. The third is what I call as a bonhomie, which is to be open enough to recognize the spirit and merit of your fellow being in whatever endeavor, it's small or large. Because if you're believing that, if you're going to believe that you're a solo player here, please see you later. Yeah. And the last actually is a quiet pride that I look for in the work that you do. Because the truth of the matter is the planner is never going to be in the limelight. Okay, so the account person will win the business and get the plaudits for that. The creative person is the superstar in the limelight. You have to be comfortable in the shadows. And you take pride in that.
But it's a very important cog in the wheel, nonetheless.
I believe so. I've been doing it for a while, so I like to believe it is.
Right. All right. Thanks for talking to us.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Narayan.
Thank you.
On that note, we will slip into a quick break. On the other side, I'm joined by Executive Chairman, Dentsu India, Mr. Rohit Ohri.